Welcome to Strong as Steel Safety Month, week 4. This week we're focusing on healthy habits, and today we're doing some yoga practice. I'm joined today by Julie Santilli from Breathe Yoga, and she's going to take us through some beginner yoga.
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be here. We're just going to do a short session of all levels yoga today. That's just going to be something you can do anywhere, anytime, and work on our breath a little bit and just take ourselves through a nice, calm practice.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we will enjoy some yoga.
Welcome. Thanks for taking your time to be here today. As Ali said, my name is Julie, and I've been teaching yoga for a long time. And has been just a game changer for me. And I just want to share a few of the healthy habits that go along with being in a yoga practice and having the opportunity to do that. And so when we think about yoga, we think about, these big stretches, headstands, all this crazy stuff. And there's so many other levels of yoga that you can do. So anyone from, 1 to 101 can do yoga in all different kinds of ways. One of the things that's super helpful in having a yoga practice is increasing flexibility, certainly, and strength, because you build a lot of good strength here as well. But also injury prevention. That's another thing. If you have this strong, fit, flexible body, you're able to prevent injury when you're in sports or other kinds of fitness activities. Posture is also something in yoga that's really helpful, because we work on those core muscles, the corridor of strength, which is, the front, obviously the core that but it goes all the way around into those side obliques and into the back, so this whole area, and that helps with that posture, so really important. It eases anxiety and stress. As you may know, we do a lot of great breath work there in our practice, in our physical practice, and so we get to let go of stress and worry and all that stuff. And then one other thing that people maybe don't know is it improves your sleep, because you get this physical practice, but you also get a mental practice. You get to soften into the body and stretch and strengthen, but in the mind, we get to release, the stress and the worry, and we get to focus just right in the present moment. So that can help improve your sleep as well. So let's get started in a comfortable seat. So just set yourself comfortably in a seated position. You can have the legs crossed, you can have the legs extended, whatever feels good, but just let that spine be long. Invite your shoulders to relax and the crown of your head to lift just gently, maybe a little engagement of that belly to support the low back, and just notice the breath for a few moments. Breathing in and out the nose, just really smooth and easy. Trying to fill up the body as much as you can with that inhale, and then exhale, just letting it release, just letting the breath come right on out. So as we fill up with our inhale, we fill up all the way maybe to the top of the lungs, and then as we exhale, we release it all the way to the bottom of the belly. So take just a few quiet moments to breathe in and breathe out, and notice how that breath feels. Good. As you continue to breathe, get a sense of how the body is feeling today without judging it. Oftentimes we have kind of a negative kind of flow into how we talk about our body, or that talk inside. So just in a general observation way, just sort of see, okay, I can feel my feet, I can notice the shoulders relaxing, I can feel the hands resting. If you have any injuries or anything that need a little extra attention, or any limitations, be sure to pay attention to that. So just feel the body, take a little body scan as you continue to breathe, nice and easy. And then finally, our third thing we do at the beginning of our practice is we set an intention. So it can be just an intention of relaxation, of quiet, of peace or patience, whatever you need today on your mat, but also perhaps what you might need off of your mat. So as we go through our practice, we'll just sort of remember what our intention is for this practice today. All right, let's start to roll the shoulders out, move the head around. We're just gonna warm it up nice and slow. So up, back, and down with the shoulders, maybe some little neck circles, just working out any tension or tightness that is there, maybe a little leftover sleep that might be lingering in those areas. Just rolling on through any upper body movement, nothing fancy here, just breathing easy. Take your time. All right, perfect. If you have the legs in cross-legged, go ahead and uncross and recross, just so you have that stretch going on. If they're in another position, feel free to adjust here as well. As we sit up tall and breathe that nice deep breath, on an inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Bring the gaze up, open up, extend through the fingers, and then take it into a side bend. So one hand comes down either side, other hand up and over. Stretching out from maybe the hip all the way up through those fingertips. If you're bending that bottom elbow, it comes towards the body. Big breaths here. You can bring the gaze up if your neck allows. One more breath. Good. Come on back up and just gently switch sides. Again, thinking about the length, the depth of breath, and feeling the stretch right here. So good. Excellent job. On an inhale, come on back. Gently float those arms down, shake the shoulders out, right? Just warming things up. Whatever activity you have, whether you have some kind of sporting activity, whether you have a game, or you just have work, or your regular day, any of these stretches are going to give you just a little bit more throughout that day. So let's extend our legs out in front of us. We're going to cross that right ankle over on top of the left. On an inhale, we'll reach up one more time, and then we're going to take it into a twist. So I have my right ankle crossed over on my left, and I'm going to take that left hand, drop it outside the knee. Right hand's going to come back behind and lift through the top of the head. Pull the belly in. Relax the shoulders. Feel this beautiful stretch in the back body, in the front body. Twisting is so good for us to wring out the spine, to massage those internal organs. Also good for low back stretching as well. Give it one more breath in and out the nose. And release, come on back. Shake that out. Let's switch the ankles. So cross the other ankle. Inhale, get tall. We want to take that length. And then exhale, drop it in, other side. Feel the shoulders soften down, the top of the head lift a little bit. Engage the belly. Two more breaths on this side. Good. Inhale, come on back. Shake those legs out. Perfect. All right, let's get a little hamstring stretch and a little outer hip stretch here. So tucking that right foot inside the left leg. Left leg stays long. And first we want to just sit up tall. Again, working on that posture, working on the core, the strength of that corridor of strength, lifting up through the crown. On an inhale, reach up, gaze up, really lift and open. Exhale, come forward over the leg, and we're just going to hinge forward. So we're just keeping that heart space open, gazing past the toes. Fingertips or palms are down. And we're not trying to get the head, really close to the leg. We're keeping that length, and then we're hinging over to see how that feels. Breathing here. Feel the back of that extended leg, that hamstring area, back of the knee, maybe down into the calf muscle. You can pull those left toes back. Take a couple more breaths. Good work. So we're going to stay with the legs like this, just make a little switch. So slowly rise back up. Walk between the knees. You're just making a little adjustment with the upper body, and then melt yourself down. Again, you can stay with the length in the hinge, or if you just really want to fold down, then drop the head down and round the spine. Either option is great. Breathe into those tight spaces. Notice what you need and let yourself just be right there. Excellent. Walk it back up nice and slow. Take your time. Again, shake it out a little bit, and let's switch legs. So same thing, right leg out, left leg tucked in. Sit tall, relax the shoulders. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold it forward. Just the hinge now, right? Heart open, spine nice and long. The gaze is past the toes, kind of in front and down. Always important to check in with the second side. It might need something different, right? That first side might have felt really loose and easy. The other side may be a little tighter. So we want to gauge how far we need to go, and our breath will remind us. If the breath is short, we've gone a little too far. So back out of it and breathe deep. Stay for one more. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Good. Gently walk it up, and then we'll go between those knees. So again, making that little adjustment, and then coming forward here, lengthening or rounding, your choice. Breathe. You got it. Inhale, come on back up. Release those legs out. Perfect. All right, one more seated stretch here. So with the legs extended long, we're going to invite those sits bones, right? We're going to invite those onto the mat. So kind of walk side to side a little bit. Move that flesh of the glutes out of the way. From here, we're going to have a soft bend in the knees, right? We're not trying to press the backs of the knees down. Our feet are relaxed. On an inhale, we reach up overhead. On an exhale, we do that hinge forward. So now we're doing both legs. We started with one leg and then the other. Now we're doing both. So find that hinge. Soften the knees as much as you like. Again, not a contest to get the head down to the legs. We're just feeling the stretch here. Engage the belly. Lengthen through the spine. Notice your breath. Again, if your back is wanting a little different stretch and you want to round down and let the head go, you're welcome to. 3 more long breaths. Good work. Gently roll it back up. Let's roll out those ankles a little bit, move the hands, roll the wrists. We're going to come to tabletop pose, which is hands and knees, okay? So let's get those hands and feet a little worked out there, and then we'll come around to table pose. So as you come to table, you want to set, if you think about a table, if you ever sat at a table where it's really wobbly, it's really annoying, right, to have that. So you don't want to be the wobbly table. So let's set it up. So wrists, elbows, and shoulders, nice alignment, fingers spread wide, and the creases of the elbows are facing one another. So creases face and then a softness. They're a little bend. Knees are under hips. If you have tender wrists, you can always come down to the forearms. That's another option, okay? So set that nice sturdy table and then move into cat and cow pose. So inhale, open up, gaze up, lift the tail. Exhale, round, scoop the belly, tuck the chin. So this really sweet back and forth movement on the breath. The breath is our guide in our poses, especially when we're moving back and forth, right? So inhale, cow pose, open it up. Exhale, cat pose, round and scoop in. Take it on the rhythm of your breath, nice and easy. Good work. Now, if there's any other movement here that would feel good, if you want to kind of roll around or shift back, take the next 3 breaths or so and just move organically. What feels good to you? Remember your intention. What do you need from your practice today? Just come back to it. Good work. And once you're finished, if you need a little more time to move, that's totally fine. But once you're finished, we'll come to child's pose. So big toes together, knees wide. We shift our hips back, arms come forward, and our forehead rests down. Now, if our knees are not a fan of this, you can always have the hips up, and you can bend the elbows and just melt here. So find your variation, and just breathe. If you want a little extra stretch for the shoulders, walk the fingertips towards the top of the mat. Lift up those palms, kind of spider grip, and feel that stretch. Good, gently release. Child's pose is a great spot to go. Anytime you need to just catch your breath or come back or take a little break, it's really a good spot. So slowly rise up to standing on the knees. Set yourself up into standing on the knees, and we're gonna get a little shoulder rinse. So hands are gonna clasp behind us. If you prefer to grab a wrist, that's fine too. Clasp those hands, drop them low, open the heart. Feel that beautiful space here in the heart. Big opening, big breath. Good. Stay here if this is best, or add a little twist. Take the hands over towards the right. Maybe bend the hands up to the right hip and gaze off the left shoulder. Now we tend to shift a little bit, right? So even that back out. Keep those hip bones forward. Good. Come on back. Let's switch sides. Extend first. Drop those knuckles towards the floor and then gently twist it. Maybe tuck the knuckles up by the hips. Let the neck gaze as far as it will. Again, adjust the shift because I'm shifting too. Breathe. Good. Release. Swing them out. Just let them go a little bit. Nice and easy. All right, we're going to work into a couple of warrior poses, and I'm going to do the kneeling version, but you also have the option to lift the knee if you like, okay? So starting here on the knee, back on the knees, and if you need to pad the knees, please feel free to do that. If the knees don't feel good leaning on them here, you can always come to seated. That's great too. All right, so from here, I'm going to step my left foot forward. I'm going to line up the knee over the ankle. Back knee is under the hip, so we've got some nice alignment here. Arms are going to reach up overhead. This is a crescent lunge. So we're going to reach up and open up towards the sky. So we're getting this nice little back bend here, stretching the core, reaching up through the fingertips. Creating strength in the back body. So good. Now, if you want to go a little more, you can tuck the back toe. Watch out for the balance. And come to this variation. Also great. Okay? Breathe here. Nice work. So warrior two variation, kneeling. So the right arm's going to go forward, the left arm's going to come back, and we're going to gaze towards the back hand. So a little variation. Again, the back toes can be tucked if you like. Breathe here, soften the shoulders, spread the fingers wide, root into that front foot. You're doing great. Excellent. All right, one more here on this knee. Windmill that back arm up. Reach the arms overhead, and then gently place those hands inside the front foot, coming into a little hip stretch here. This is lizard pose. So both hands are resting down inside that front foot. You can move the front foot over a little bit for some more room. If you want a deeper stretch, slide that back knee back a little farther, or you can tuck the back toes. Notice your breath. We linger here a little longer because our hips hold a lot of stress, a lot of emotion in those hips, which seems like a weird place for it, but there's a lot going on in there as far as muscles and joints and ligaments, all in this little space here. So it gets tight in there. So let's breathe it out, let go of that stress, that tension, whatever worry that you have, just release it out, even just for our time here on the mat. Taking just a few more breaths. Good work. Before we switch sides, get a little extra on that hamstring. So walk the hands back, come to the fingertips and lift up those toes, the left toes. Lengthen as much as you can. Gaze forward. Breathe really deep right here. Sending that tailbone straight back. Be careful, the hips want to shift sometimes. So just breathe into that. Excellent work. All right, bend back in. We're going to take a little transition of a downward facing dog before we do the other side. So plant your hands, and then we're going to tuck your toes. I have an injury in my left foot, so I'm crossing my left ankle, but you don't need to do that. That's just what I'm doing. So tuck the toes, lift the hips, melt both heels down, lift through the tailbone, gaze past the knees. Press the hands firmly into the mat, open the heart towards the back of the room. You can also stay in table if you prefer not to do down dog. Great option too, just breathing here. Perfect. 2 more breaths. On your exhale, gently release. Rise up, shake out those hands. It's good to turn yourself upside down every once in a while, right? Grab a drink if you like, maybe building a little heat from that. That's always good. And then from here, let's do that other side, our kneeling warrior series. So setting up knee over the ankle, hip and knee also in alignment. Arms reach up, adding that little back bend if you want to. So lifting up through the heart space and gazing up towards the sky. Spread the fingers wide, root into that front foot. Deep, full breaths. Good work. Let's take it into that warrior 2. Open it up. Find your way. Gaze towards the back hand. Thumbs towards the sky. Lift through the crown. Pull the belly in. Good job. Let's windmill that back arm around, coming into that lizard pose. So both hands inside the foot. Feel free to move the foot over. Melt down to any amount here and breathe. Now again, you can slide that back knee a little farther back or tuck the back toes. Honor this side. It's going to be different than that first side. It's just the way our body is, right? We stand different ways, we sit different ways, and we tend to lean or move in one direction most of the time. So we're kind of undoing some of that habit of getting deep in here, increasing that flexibility and strength, working on the core for our posture, creating those healthy habits in our body and our mind. Couple more breaths. Good. Let's get that hamstring stretch. Walk it back. Lift up those toes. Take your time here. Feeling that length in the spine. Always the length in the spine, right? Engage the belly. Breathe. Pull those right toes back. Feel the stretch. Doing great. Nice work. All right, then back into the knee. We're going to come onto our back. We're going to do a little roll down to work that core, okay? So bend your knees, plant your feet, reach those arms forward, and then lift up through the top of the head. Pull the belly in. On an inhale, get a little taller. On an exhale, come halfway back. Keep the spine long. Inhale, back up. Exhale, come on back. Take 1, 2, or 3 more, up to you, and we're going to meet on our backs. All right, you can go as far as you like, really working that belly. And then once you're ready to roll down, slow and in control, gently roll on down. Take that full body stretch. Lengthen out from fingertips to toes, roll wrists and ankles. Big deep breaths. Good. Let's prepare for our bridge pose. So bend your knees and plant your feet. Rest your hands next to the hips, just nice and relaxed in the back body. Keep your gaze up towards the sky and press into the feet. Lift the hips to any amount. And you can stay right here, work in the body, breathing deep. If you want to add, you can clasp the hands underneath and shimmy those shoulder blades together, lifting through the heart space. Keep your gaze up. Enjoy the breath, creating really great strength here in the lower body, little heart opener, all sorts of good stuff going on. Good. If you've clasped the hands underneath, go ahead and release, untuck the shoulders, and then very slowly set one vertebra down at a time as you gently let the hips come back to the earth. Take a moment and relax, breathe. A great counter pose to our bridge pose is waterfall pose. So take those legs straight up towards the sky. You can hold on to the legs if that feels comfortable, and you can bend the knees as much as you like. Okay, let the hands rest. This pose allows the body to kind of, again, turn upside down in a different way. And it changes the blood and energy flow in the body. So really good for us to kind of shake it up here. Great when you've been on your feet all day. This is such a good pose for the, not only the feet, but for the ankles, the shins and calves, even the knees. Take a few more breaths. If you need to roll out those ankles, great time for that. Move those toes. We do not give our feet enough love, and they work for us all day long. So let's give them a little love and move them around. Good job. On your exhale, hug those knees in towards the heart. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then gently let the knees come over to one side, stacking those knees, and open the arms to a T. Now you want the upper back resting on the mat. If it's not, drop those knees farther away from the chest. Roll your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees and enjoy this supine twist. Notice the breath, deep and full here. Check in with your intention, so good. Perfect. Inhale, come on back. Give those knees a little squeeze, maybe a rock and roll, a little circular motion. Give yourself a little back massage in case you don't have one scheduled for today. You can do it right here. And then let's switch sides, other side. Drop the knees gently over. Check in with that upper back. We want it resting on the mat. Roll your gaze, open the heart space, and breathe. They call this the washcloth of poses because you're wringing out, right? Letting go of all the stuff you don't need. Good. Give it another big breath. On your inhale, slowly come on back. Give those knees another squeeze. And just take a moment to see if there's any other stretch you need before we come to rest. So maybe you need to hug in, maybe you need to stretch out, perhaps you need to sit up and do something. It's totally up to you. Just take the next few breaths and do that last little stretch, that last thing that's just really specific to your body and your mind here. And then once you're finished, we'll rest on our backs. This is Shavasana. This is like the sweet part of, or the sweetest part of your practice. So this is where all that you've done comes together here. This is where we get to feel the beautiful energy flowing through the body, and we just get to be right here. So legs are extended, maybe to the corners of the mat, palms are turned up, resting next to the body, or maybe a little farther away. And we come back to that body scan. So close your eyes. Come back to that body scan. Feel the body from head to toe, just noticing the change. Notice the breath with ease and comfort. And feel so good about being on your mat today. You have increased your flexibility and strength. You've let go of stress and worry and taken time to just be. And that's really, really important. Remember your intention when you step off your mat today. It just might be a little guiding light for you as you move through your day, a little more open, a little more filled with love and beauty from your practice, because that is some of the gems of a yoga practice. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Julie, and it has been an honor to be a part of your yoga practice today. At the end of a practice, we often say a word called namaste, and it just means that the light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. That was so fun, and I feel great. It was a really good start to my day, and I know our Steel families will enjoy it as well. For all of you tuning in today, if you'd like to follow Julie or check out one of her online classes, you can find those at windsorfamilyyoga.com. Am I right, Julie?
You are right. Yes.
Great. And if you are filling out Healthy Habits bingo cards, you can check off 2 boxes today, one for yoga and one for cross training. So I hope your yoga cards are filling out nicely, and thanks for tuning in.